covering news where you live. This is 5 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Ellen Thalls. We begin with a developing story out of Lavaca, where police are currently searching for a missing man. Police say Danny Gann was last seen at 10 a.m. on Friday while working as a janitor at Lavaca Public Schools. They say his truck was found on school property with the keys still inside. Police say he was last seen wearing a blue polo shirt, blue jeans, and a black hat that says Lavaca Fire Department. He is described as 5'10", 170 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information, you're encouraged to contact police. Police in Fayetteville say a man was stabbed earlier this morning. Police say it happened around 2 this morning. They say the stabbing likely happened during a fight at Arcega's on Dixon Street. Investigators say they found a pool of blood in the parking lot. Right now, police are still searching for a suspect, but do not have a description available. Stay with us as we continue to follow this developing story. A night of football fun turns into a night behind bars for one Mountain Berg teen after police say the suspect broke into several cars. It happened during last night's homecoming football game against Hackett. Police say a witness told them about the break-ins after they chased the teen away from their car. The suspect was arrested. Police say all the stolen items were recovered. That teen is currently at the Sebastian County Juvenile Detention Center on a probation violation. Police also issued a warrant for a second suspect. It's safe to say fall weather took many people by surprise today as temperatures took a drop across the area. Here's Sean with a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, it definitely felt a lot more like fall, and the cloud cover also made it feel a little bit more cool too. Overall, we are looking to trade for some slightly clearer skies. We're starting to see that even now across northwest Arkansas. Some clearing across portions of the river valley as well. That clearing trend is going to continue, but so will the temperature tumble. Already down to 44 in Fayetteville, 57 currently in Fort Smith, 52 in Bentonville as well as Mena, and 51 right now in Poto. The clouds were in control today. They won't be as much as we go in towards the second half of the weekend. Also for much of next week too. We'll talk about what all that sunshine means for the temperatures coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Sean. The 62nd annual War Eagle Fair draws thousands each year. And while the vendors benefit from the crowds, some locals do too. 5 News reporter Amy Slanchik explains.
Everyone has their traditions.
I am here with family and friends, and we've been doing it for 20 years.
20 years, that's almost a third of the time the fair has been around. Each and every year, Kelly Williamson and her friends shop around with personalized bags.
We carry the bags and we make them bigger and bigger so we can get more stuff in them, so it's kind of fun. But we put names on it, and it's a way we can spot each other if we get lost.
But for the same 20 years they've been coming to the fair, Gwen Davis has allowed vendors to sell crafts on her land to people on their way to War Eagle.
It's just a happy bunch here because they know they don't have to pay out all their money to rent a booth.
And she's not the only one. Dozens of sales surround the fair, taking advantage of the big crowds.
Up and down the whole road, yes, is garage sales. It's all the way out 412 East and 303.
Some people, like Jenny Temple, aren't even on their way to War Eagle.
No, it's too crowded.
But Davis says if it weren't for the War Eagle Craft Fair, the swarm of people simply wouldn't be there.
Yes, it will bring in the people, and then it helps your crafters too. Yes, it does.
So whether traditions are at the fair or on the way, everyone has a plan to find what they're looking for.
We shopped yesterday and today, and we go home tonight.
At War Eagle, Amy Slanchik, 5 News.
The fair continues all day tomorrow from 8 to 4. In Poto, the annual Balloon Fest continued today. Pilots from all over the country came to town every year to take people up in the sky. Balloon rides happen twice after sunrise and twice before sunset. The rides are happening at the Floor County Fairgrounds and will cost you $10. Armbands are also $5. The festival wraps up tonight at 11. In Bentonville, a 2-mile run and walk was held this morning to benefit ALS. Among those participating in the run were officers from the Bentonville Police Department running in full uniform. These are pictures of the officers submitted to us by a viewer. The officers who ran say it was a way to support fellow officers who have lost loved ones to ALS. Dispatchers from the Bentonville Police Department also participated in the run. Also happening in news where you live, a unique church event was held in Fayetteville to raise money for those less fortunate in our area. The Brews for Blessings fundraiser was held today at the Emmanuel Lutheran Church. The fundraiser works with several local craft breweries to help raise money for the Cooperative Emergency Outreach.
Creating kind of an atmosphere for some fellowship for both members of our church as well as people outside of our church who we're looking to have fun but also donate money to a good cause.
The Cooperative Emergency Outreach provides emergency assistance to those living in Washington County. Last year, nearly 14,000 people were assisted by the outreach. A marching band competition was also held in Rogers. It's called the 6th Annual War Eagle Classic. 21 bands competed in 5 different classes today, with preliminary competition beginning around 10:45 this morning. The top 10 scoring bands then moved on to the final competition, which kicked off around 4 p.m. We spoke to one of the band directors about what makes this event so special.
This is it's an exciting thing to see football stadiums filled up for other things besides football. And so as you see, there's hundreds of thousands of people here today just to watch marching band and to be part of this competitive environment. It's really a fun place to be on a Saturday.
This is drone footage of the stadium provided by viewer John Fleming. Many local high school bands took place in today's competition. The competition wrapped up about an hour ago. The 3rd annual Arc and Salsa Festival returned to downtown Springdale today. The Arts and Musical Festival kicked off at 9 a.m. on Emma Avenue with a 5K fun run. Events planned throughout the day include a parade, car show, salsa lessons, and even a best tasting salsa contest. Over 1,000 people are expected to attend the festivities over the weekend.
It's really bringing the community together with a variety of businesses and corporations and organizations that really want to see us all working together. And we know that as a community, if we come together, the sky's the limit on what we can do for our children.
Tomorrow, a lunch on a train will be held to close out the event. All proceeds from the festival benefit local scholarship programs. An update to a story we told you about yesterday. The Beaver Lake Fire Department says they're close to their goal of buying a new rescue boat. The fire department says they've raised nearly $4,000 after holding a rummage sale over the past couple of days. Community members donated those items being sold. The Beaver Lake Fire Chief says they are still $5,000 away from reaching their goal of $27,000 for a new boat. Across Arkansas, former U.S. Attorney Connor Eldridge formally launched his campaign for U.S. Senate. Eldridge made the announcement at his family's farm supply company in Augusta this morning. He plans to run as what he calls an Arkansas Democrat. During today's announcement, Eldridge talked about what he plans to do for the natural state if he's elected. We caught up with him at an event on Fayetteville on Friday.
You've got to do that through hard work, through determination, through devotion, through the courage to really focus on and address issue after issue after issue. And that's the kind of thing that is missing in Washington and that needs to be fixed.
Eldridge will be facing off with Republican incumbent John Bozeman. At this time, no other Republicans have announced that they're running for the seat. Across the nation, hundreds gathered in Missouri to remember 2 fallen firefighters today. A memorial service for firefighters Larry Leggio and John Mesh was held at the Sprint Center in downtown Kansas City. Leggio and Mesh died Monday after an apartment building collapsed around them just minutes after they rescued 2 people. 3 other firefighters were injured. The International Association of Firefighters president spoke at today's memorial service.
And for those generations to reflect on their lives of service. Their memories will be reinforced for those who enter this profession what it stands for.
Family, friends, and community leaders were not alone in their grieving Saturday. Firefighters from across the United States converged in the city to honor their 2 comrades. Comments from Donald Trump have the candidate making headlines yet again. In a TV interview Friday, Trump partly laid the blame for the 9/11 terrorist attacks at the feet of former President George Bush. Jeremy Roth reports on the reaction.
When you talk about George Bush, I mean, say what you want, the World Trade Center came down during his time.
Donald Trump is under fire for suggesting former President George W. Bush is partly to blame for the 9/11 attacks. In a Friday interview with Bloomberg TV, the Republican presidential candidate seemed to imply Bush shared responsibility for the acts of terrorism that took down the Twin Towers.
He was president, okay? Don't blame him or don't blame him, but he was president. The World Trade Center came down during his reign.
The former president's brother and fellow GOP candidate Jeb Bush responded via Twitter. How pathetic for @real Donald Trump to criticize the president for 9/11. We were attacked and my brother kept us safe. For his part, the usually talkative Trump has so far refused to answer questions on the subject.
Mr. Trump, can you clarify, do you think that 9/11 was President Bush's fault? Jeb Bush said on Twitter that your comments about 9/11 were...
We have a comment on Jeb Bush! No comment on Jeb Bush!
But the candidate has responded on social media, engaging in a Twitter war with his Republican rival. No, @Jeb Bush, you're pathetic for saying nothing happened during your brother's term when the World Trade Center was attacked and came down. Trump's comments are spurring other GOP candidates to weigh in. Ben Carson said he didn't hear Trump's remarks, but when asked if he thought Bush shared responsibility for the attacks, he responded.
I think it's ridiculous to suggest that he's responsible for it.
I'm Jeremy Roth, reporting.
In the Bloomberg interview, Donald Trump also criticized the Obama administration's response to the Sandy Hook tragedy. He said, quote, "What we need is a leader. We don't have a leader." Vice President Joe Biden is reportedly in talks with some big stakeholders about a likely 2016 presidential bid. Biden reportedly is reaching out to Democratic strategists about how to launch his 2016 presidential campaign. Friday, sources say Biden spoke to the International Association of Firefighters president for backing. The IAFF recently abandoned plans to endorse Hillary Clinton. That's according to the New York Times. Keeping our eye on the world, more bloodshed in the Middle East as Palestinians and Israeli forces clashed in the streets. At least 4 Palestinians were killed today after attempted knife attacks on Israelis, according to the Israeli army. Police are out in force to try to stop more violence from happening. Hundreds of people marched through the streets of Jerusalem in a small peace rally today. They're calling for an end to the violence that has gripped Israel for the past several weeks.
We saw clouds and cooler temperatures today, but maybe the opposite as we go towards the second half of the weekend. Talk about sunshine coming up.
And still ahead on your 5 News at 10, thousands of runners in Colorado dressed up like Waldo. It's all for a good cause. Plus, all-day breakfast at McDonald's may be a hit with customers, but some of the employees in the restaurants are not loving it. Those stories and more when we return.
You're watching 5 News, the most watched local news at 10.
30 minutes before sunrise this morning, hunters were out in the woods throughout our area for the beginning of muzzleloader season. Many hunters in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas have spent the past few days preparing for this weekend. The muzzleloader season ends October 25th. Modern gun season starts in mid-November in Arkansas. For more information, visit the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission website. Well, it definitely felt like hunting weather this morning as temperatures cooled off across the area. Sean, is this fall-like weather here to stay?
Well, definitely going to start off very similar with those cooler temperatures tomorrow morning. Today's high temperatures were already cool to begin with. We only topped out at 63 in Fayetteville as well as Bentonville. Didn't even make it to 70 degrees across Fort Smith, Clarksville, or Sallisaw. The only places in the 70-degree club were in eastern Oklahoma, including Tahlequah and Poteau. We're starting to see some clearing though, so that's going to spell some much cooler temperatures as we go throughout the overnight hours. Still a few clouds though hanging around portions of the River Valley. However, those are definitely on the downward trend going forward. Taking a look at temperatures across Northwest Arkansas, 51 currently in Rogers, 52 across Bentonville and Springdale, already into the upper 40s though in Siloam Springs, and close to 43 being reported right now in Fayetteville. And we're still going to continue to drop throughout the rest of tonight. Temperatures still mostly in the 50s in Clarksville, 53 currently in Fort Smith, as well as 54 in Sallisaw, and 51 right now in Poteau. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, the River Valley should be starting off temperatures right around 45, warming up by about 9 degrees every 2 hours till about noon, and then we'll continue to be right around the low 70s throughout the afternoon with much more sunshine to share. In Northwest Arkansas, temperatures will be starting off close to 40, warming up by about 10 degrees every 2 hours, getting up to 60 by noon, and continuing to stay in the upper 60s, so a few degrees warmer as we go in towards the afternoon with a bit more sunshine. Overall, satellite and radar showing this cloudy patch over our area and then continuing to move off towards the east and dissipate. Overall, we're looking at a very much more quieter trend setting up as we go in towards not only tomorrow, but for much of the rest of the week too. Taking a look at Futurecast, timing you through the rest of tonight in towards tomorrow morning. Overall temperatures will continue to cool down into the low 40s across Northwest Arkansas, closer to 50 though in Fort Smith to start off your day tomorrow. In terms of what we're expecting for sky conditions tomorrow, we may see a few passing clouds out there, but overall we should start to see sunshine, especially by the afternoon. Again, temperatures will slowly start to respond to that sunshine, getting closer to that 70-degree mark in Northwest Arkansas. Most areas, though, in Fort Smith and the River Valley should be at least making it slightly past that 70-degree mark tomorrow. Going in towards Monday morning, still looking at clear skies, but slightly warmer temperatures, starting off your Monday morning right around 51 degrees in Fayetteville and Bentonville, and close to that in Fort Smith. Taking a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast, a very sunny streak ahead as we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Temperatures will also be warming up too. We'll get up to right around 73 by Monday, staying in the 70s into Tuesday and into Wednesday across Northwest Arkansas, possibly even getting up closer to 82. We'll start to see some clouds increase by Friday and some rain chances to begin the weekend. In the River Valley, temperatures will continue to remain in the low 70s tomorrow, continuing to warm up into 80-degree territory by the middle of the week, and then looking to cool back down as we begin next weekend.
And the one thing we didn't get to take advantage of, at least I didn't, I don't know about you, the Poto Balloon Fest, because the weather was so great for it. A little chilly for the sunrise, but
at least it was clear skies and the winds were relatively calm.
Man, the video, it just jealous, so jealous.
Especially to go up in them and see the view from being inside the balloon.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sean. Another round of rain is making its way to California and the West. On Thursday, mudslides trapped hundreds of vehicles and their drivers on highways, including Interstate 5. The mud was as high as 20 feet in some places. The freshly cleaned highway reopened Friday night. Thousands of people dressed like Waldo and took the streets in Colorado to take part in a charity 5K this morning. The 4th annual Waldo 5K took place this morning in Colorado Springs. Organizers say the event is the most popular untimed 5K walk and fun run in the area. Besides a sea of red and white striped shirts, a live concert was also held for all participants following the run. In Oklahoma, the 9th annual OU Aviation Festival started today. The Air Festival has dozens of modern and vintage planes on display, all meant to get children interested in aviation sciences. Organizers say this year's festival saw one of their biggest turnouts ever, and next year they're hoping for even more people just in time for the Norman Airport's 75th anniversary. U.S. Airways took its final flight last night when it landed in Philadelphia. The airline completed its merger with American Airlines after Flight 1939 landed earlier this morning in Philadelphia. Many flight enthusiasts came out to see the historic final landing. Another popular company is also facing problems with new corporate changes. McDonald's now serves breakfast all day long, but it turns out some franchise owners are not loving it. Hannah Daniels explains why.
From Egg McMuffins to pancakes, breakfast items at McDonald's are no longer just for breakfast.
Now you're free to start enjoying the breakfast you love anytime you wish. No way. Yes way.
The fast food giant recently introduced all-day breakfast. Lori Cabral is a fan. She was able to get hash browns and yogurt at 6 p.m.
That's like my favorite part of their menu, so I'm very happy.
Customers may be enjoying all-day breakfast, but it seems not all the people who work inside are loving it.
The finance company Nomura surveyed 29 franchisees who run more than 200 McDonald's locations. Some think the new plan is working, but many complain the added items are slowing them down. Erratic, distorted, disorganized direction from McDonald's, one franchisee wrote. Having a negative impact on service, another said. And all-day breakfast is expensive and difficult to execute. But the McDonald's Corporation is defending its decision. In a statement, the company tells CBS News, "We're hearing from customers and the overwhelming majority of our 3,100 franchisees that all-day breakfast is a hit." Cabral agrees.
It's great. It's great.
In the survey, even frustrated franchisees admitted customers want it, which means all-day breakfast is likely here to stay. Hannah Daniels for CBS News, New York.
The survey also showed that franchisees expect same-store sales to increase slightly because of all-day breakfast. Coming up in sports, Kansas City with another comeback thriller. All of the Game 2 American League Championship highlights next.
The National League Championship Series got underway tonight. Game 1 between the Cubs and the Mets. It was John Lester versus Matt Harvey. This one wrapped up just a bit ago. Mets take Game 1 4-2. And sorry to break it to you, Ellen, that's not a score you wanted to see, is it?
No, and Schwarber tried. Manny had that solo home run, and I was like, okay, momentum. No, didn't work out.
There was some hope for them early on, but hey, it's only Game 1. There's still lots of baseball left to be played.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Heather. And Sean's back with a look at the full forecast after the break.
All right, sunshine should start to help us out by tomorrow and continue to last through much of the rest of the week, warming us up close to 80 in northwest Arkansas. We should be in the mid-80s as we go in toward the low 80s rather by the middle of next week, with a sunny streak all the way through Thursday, some clouds on Friday, and then possibly some showers into next weekend. Feeling a lot more like it should be as we get closer and closer to Halloween.
And Halloween, costume ideas?
I think I'm going as Ash Ketchum and Sky's going as Pikachu.
Oh, I love it. I'm thinking a pirate. I know it's kind of lame, but...
Hey, simple to do there. And on budget.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Remember to head to 5newsonline.com for the latest headlines and weather. Have a good night. We'll see you back here in the morning.